President Trump flew from Israel to Egypt, where he and the leaders of Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey signed on as guarantors of this Gaza peace deal. Then they held an international peace summit. Nancy Cordes is traveling with the president.
By the time President Trump boarded Air Force One this evening, his diplomatic blitz had spanned 12 hours on the ground in 2 countries.
That's all I do in my life. I make deals.
Here in Egypt, he huddled with heads of state and diplomats from 36 countries to flesh out the finer points of his latest deal. Among the questions they need to resolve, who exactly will lead Gaza now? When will IDF forces fully withdraw? And who will compel Hamas fighters to hand over their weapons?
We're going to put some of you on the board of peace. Everybody wants to be on the board of peace. They said, would you be the chairman? I say, I'm pretty busy, too.
Trump's 20-point peace plan that was the basis for this deal calls for the creation of a temporary international stabilization force to help secure border areas in Gaza. But it is still unclear which countries will contribute troops, how large the force will be, and how long its deployment will last. One of the biggest questions of all is who will pay to rebuild war-torn Gaza. Regional experts estimate it will cost $53 billion. President Trump is the fundraiser in chief.
And the money is, of course, it's a lot of money, but it's not much compared to the value or the wealth of these tremendous countries. And they are ensuring stability and success in the Middle East.
President Trump and other leaders signed a new document here pertaining to the peace deal, but the contents of that document have not been made public. So we don't know if it contains new specifics about the phases to come. And we also don't know if it's been viewed by the Israelis and by Hamas and if they've signed off on it. Tony?
There's a lot we still don't know, but there is hope in the air. Nancy, thank you very much. John and Maurice, I'll send it back to you.
Tony, quickly before we lose you, you mentioned that hope in the air. When we talked to Nimrod Cohen's brother, he said when his brother was still held captive, they didn't allow themselves to hope because their hopes had been dashed so much. Where is the new hope for the future? Where does that, where do they talk about that? Where does that come from?
Well, this is a country capable of keeping 2 thoughts in mind at the very same time and still chewing gum and walking down the street. There's a quote that's come up, often attributed or a paraphrase to the late, great Golda Meir, a prime minister here in Israel. It's you have to pursue peace as though terrorism doesn't exist, and you have to, at the same time, combat terrorism as though peace has no chance. And the Israelis live by words like that, and that's how they do it, John. They hold 2 thoughts in their head at the very same time, and they keep on living.